ICPC vision of a Nigeria free from all forms of corruption and corrupt practices drives its activities. And the Commission's strategy for achieving this vision is through the deployment of lawful enforcement and preventive measures. When a petition or report of corrupt acts is received by ICPC, it investigates meticulously, and where a prima facie case is established, it takes the suspects to court. Today on the program, we shall take a look at the few of the cases arraigned in various courts across the country by ICPC. This is Corruption Must Go, ICPC's weekly television program. I am Hawa Sani Garba. We bring you details of some of these arraignments after this timeout.
Welcome to this segment on anti-corruption stories. I am Ruth Awudi. The chairman of ICPC, Professor Bolaji Owasonye, SAN, has identified the deployment of technology as crucial to the fight against corruption and illicit financial flows, IFFs. Professor Owasonye made this known at the presentation of demo hacking solutions by 7 innovators at the ICPC headquarters, Abuja. The Illicit Financial Flows Hackathon is an initiative of ICPC and the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, with support of Ford Foundation, West Africa. The demo hacking solutions are aimed at curbing corruption and IFFs in government budget and ministries, departments and agencies, MDA's procurement processes in Nigeria. In his welcome remarks, the ICPC chairman stated that the role of technology would not be underrated in the fulfillment of the Commission's mandate of investigation and prosecution of breaches of the law.
The role of technology cannot be underrated. Technology is crucial to eliciting, analyzing, and preserving evidence for prosecution. In the past 3 years, the Commission has invested a lot in technology to enhance our forensic capability, and we have trained staff in digital document analysis, handwriting, polygraphic technology, and sundry skills that help us, even without arresting anyone, to establish evidence of wrongdoing against perpetrators. In the past 15 years, or maybe slightly more, the government of Nigeria has generally invested a lot in technology to fight corruption, especially by prevention measures. In this regard, one cannot but mention the IP's Integrated Personnel Payroll Information System, the gift-based Government Information Management, Government Information Financial Management System, the Treasury Single Account, the Open Treasury Portal, the establishment of the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, and the private sector initiated BVN. All of these have contributed in no small way to reducing corruption in Nigeria. And sometimes I wonder, where would we be if all of these initiatives had not been introduced? They are not perfect. We have challenges, and as we know, it is when you start using the technology that you begin to see gaps in its application. But if they were not in place, things would definitely be much worse than they are at the moment.
At the IFF Hackathon, Professor Owasonye explained that it provided an opportunity for the young people to use their creativity and entrepreneurial skills in leveraging on emerging technologies to combat corruption and other unethical practices that impact negatively on the socio-economic fortunes of the nation. He assured that the Anti-Corruption Agency, NITDA and Ford Foundation would further work on the demo hacking solutions presented by the young innovators.
Sometimes the joy and the honor is not in winning but being a part of it, because you can always cite that you were shortlisted. We've listened to the solution together with NIDA. We're going to interrogate that solution, fine-tune it in whatever areas there are gaps or gray areas that we do not understand, and see how we are going to push this for a demo, to develop the app and to try and do some test runs of the solution. We're very happy that all of the ideas are homegrown, and there is hope for Nigeria in spite of everything else. So I want to congratulate all those who have won.
The Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, who was represented by Deputy Director Mr. Kashim Ibrahim, said recovered funds from the proceeds of corruption would be used by the government to address critical needs. In his remarks at the hackathon, the Director General of NIDA, Mr. Kashim Inua Abdullahi, said the innovative ideas would assist in the realization of the objectives of the digital transformation agenda of the government. The Regional Director of Ford Foundation West Africa Office, Dr. Aniagulu Okoye, expressed the foundation's excitement with the hackathon idea because of its importance to the fight against corruption in the country.
So I really commend the ICPC from opening this as a competition, allowing our young people to come and show the amazing talents that we know that are in this country. I'm also very excited that it is around technology, around innovation, and not around dancing and singing. Not that there's anything wrong with dancing and singing, but I think that we're a country that is in need of development in a way that we need to turn ourselves into a technology giant. And young people have been too many times geared towards competitions that are not challenging them intellectually, but are more about dancing and singing and Big Brother and things like that. So it's really exciting for me as the Director of West Africa for Ford Foundation to be here. I really wanted to be here in person because I wanted to show that this is important. Not just important, to us as an organization, but an important way to move forward in the fight for corruption.
The highlight of the program was the presentation of the demo hacking solutions as a digital answer to diminishing corruption, using the school feeding programs as a case study by the 7 innovators.
We now have a hackathon on digital solution to diminishing corruption and IFFs in government procurement processes. Congratulations. Present this second prize award to IFF MAR. Congratulations. The prize money is ₦1 million.
The young innovators were tasked to come up with clearly defined ideas and prototype solutions to checkmate IFFs, with emphasis on leveraging emerging technologies. Professor Owasonye and Dr. Aniagulu Okoye presented cash prizes of 500,000 naira, 1 million naira, and 1.5 million naira to the representatives of Exposed Solution, IFMA, and eProcure, respectively. That would be all on this segment. Corruption Must Go continues with Hawa. Stay with us.
Corruption can mess up every good thing a nation has. A nation is blessed with every good thing all around. If you and I care, we gonna get there. Just ask me how. It starts from you and I. Make you say no. When they give you bribe or ask you for bribe, make you say no. If you're there for office and tempted to steal, make you say no. We can only kill corruption and greed. Make we say no. Make we say no. Make we say no. Make you say no. When they give you bribe or ask you for bribe, make you say no. If you there for office and tempted to steal, make you say no. We can only kill corruption and greed when we say no. When we say no, when we say no, when we say no.
Welcome to this segment of the program. ICPC has docked a staff of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC), Mr. Olege Nelson, for allegedly receiving 4.4 million kickbacks from contractors. The Commission, in an 8-count charge filed before Justice M.A. Madugu of the Federal Capital Territory High Court sitting in Buari, Abuja, accused Nelson of abuse of office and conferring undue advantage on himself. ICPC Counsel Peace Arocha gives us details.
Okay, the case is about the defendant who is a staff of SEC, that's Security and Exchange Commission. While he was a staff, he had private interest. He knowingly had private interest in some contracts that were awarded by SEC while he was in the employment of SEC, and he did not disclose those interests. About 2 companies, one of the company, he was a director in the company, while the other one was a business name owned by his brother, and that one him and his brother were co-signatories to the account of the company. Then that's for the business name. Then for the company, he also and another person were co-signatories to the account of the company. So that is the private interest, and it's wrong. So for that wrongdoing, he was charged under the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000. Yes.
Okay, he was charged under what section of the act can we say the defendant violated? What did he violate? What section of the law?
Yes, he violated section 12 and 19. Section 12 with regards to the award of the contracts, which he had a private interest. And the section 12 is saying that anybody employed in the public service should not have an interest in a contract, knowingly should not be involved in any contract. And in the case of the defendant, that's Nelson Olege, like I said, he was the director of one of the companies, and then his brother was the sole proprietor to the business name. He didn't indicate this interest. And Section 12 gives exception. If, for instance, the company was a registered joint stock company with more than 20 members, he can't be charged under that section because that's the exception. But that was not the case at hand. In his own case, he was a director. He didn't resign as a director. He was still a director while he was working in SEC. And also, he had interest in the account of the company by being a co-signatory to the account. Same also with that of his brother. So if he had disclosed that interest and resigned, he won't have been charged. So that's the offense of Section 12. And the essence of that Section 12 is to ensure that there's transparency in procurement exercise, so that public officers or civil servants will not make use of that opportunity to deprive genuine contractors from getting awards of these contracts. So that's the essence of Section 12. So the knowledge must be there. He knew and he also executed because he was paid. Then he was also charged under Section 19 of the Act for having unfair advantage over that contract, because eventually the contract sums were paid to the company, and being a co-signatory to the account of the company with his brother and another colleague, he benefited, and that was wrong as a civil servant. He was supposed to distance himself from such, which he didn't do. So that was why he was charged under those 2 sessions. Yes. Is pending before the FCT High Court, and it came up for arraignment in July this year. After the arraignment, he pleaded not guilty to all the counts and he applied for his bail application. The bail application was granted with some conditions, and they include 2 sureties with a like sum of 500,000 naira each. Then the sureties were to present tax clearance certificates for 3 years, 3 consecutive years, and he was also to surrender his international passport, which he did. He met the bail conditions and he was granted bail. So the matter is coming up for hearing proper in September. And at the hearing, the prosecution will open her case by calling relevant witnesses, tendering relevant documents. After that, the defense will open his defense, will tell the court his defense, if any. Then the matter will be adjourned for final address. Both counsels will address the court, and after that, to be for judgment, will be reserved for judgment. So at the stage of judgment is the court that will evaluate the evidence of both sides, both the side of the prosecution and that of the defendant, and then after evaluating the evidence, he will now come up with the judgment. So the judgment could go any way. I'm not saying we don't have a good case, because before filing we had a prima facie case. Based on that, we filed the charge. So but it all depends on how it goes. We have a prima facie case, but we don't know the judgment yet. So till then.
Similarly, ICPC has arraigned one Professor John Kester Ifeanyichukwu over allegations of bribery and inducement of officers of the Commission. In a 1-count charge brought before Honorable Justice A.O. Otaluka of the Federal Capital Territory High Court 12, sitting in Apo, Abuja, ICPC is accusing the professor of issuing a check valued at $14,000 to a staff of the Commission. In a related development, ICPC has arraigned a Deputy Chief Registrar of the Federal High Court, Port Harcourt, Mrs. Ikem Apollonia Mba, for alleged involvement in fraudulent activities. Mrs. Mba was docked on a 3-count charge before Justice Letim Nyordi of the Federal High Court 12, Port Harcourt, for offences bordering on abuse of office and corrupt demand of gratification by a public officer. The court held that her offence contravenes Sections 10 and 19 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000 and is punishable under relevant sections of the same act. The accused pleaded not guilty when the charge was read to her. Consequently, her counsel, S. Someari, applied for bail, praying the court to grant her bail on liberal terms, which was not opposed to. Finally, for this edition, the Commission has also arraigned one Mr. Alana Muzubair Olayemi, a web programmer too of the University of Ilorin, for alleged contract fraud and abuse of office. In the charge brought before Honorable Justice Adenike Akimpelu of Kwara State High Court, sitting in Ilorin, ICPC accused the university staff of holding an indirect private interest in a contract awarded to Global Wise ICT Solutions and Technology Limited, of which he was the sole signatory to the company's bank account. His actions are contrary to and punishable under Sections 12 and 19 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000.
Fellow Nigerians, do you know that constituency projects are actually your projects? Do you know that constituency projects are funded by the federal government? Do you know that you can track release of constituency project funds for projects located in your constituency and follow up to know how they have been executed? Constituency projects happen because government does not want to leave any community out in development efforts. You have a responsibility to know what constituency project has been planned for your community, how much has been allocated for it, and whether value for money has been delivered. Take ownership of constituency projects located in your community. Protect them because they belong to you. Government knows about your needs and is planning for you. Government needs your help to ensure quality delivery. Know that constituency projects are actually your projects. Protect your constituency project. My constituency, my project.
For information on funds allocated to projects in your constituency, call 0800 2255 4272.
This message is from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the National Orientation Agency.
Let's join hands with ICPC, make them better. Let's make Nigeria great again. ICPC, they want to hand for corruption.
Break the chain of corruption now. Don't give, don't take. This message is brought to you by ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
By arraigning suspects before the courts, ICPC is adhering to the provisions of its enabling law, the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000, and in line with the rule of law. After diligent investigation and prosecution by the Commission, the courts will determine if the Commission has proved its case beyond reasonable doubt, and if suspects are guilty or not. Thereafter, they will administer the appropriate punishments. At the conclusion of the cases, when the accused persons are brought to justice, this serves as a deterrent to others by putting them on notice that corrupt practices will always be punished. That's our package on this week's edition. You can watch this program and other editions of the program on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/ICPC Nigeria. Reach us on our toll-free numbers and social media platforms at ICPC Nigeria, as shown on the screen. See you again next week, Wednesday by 3:30 p.m. Bye for now.